I want to make this very simple. Grange has a year end of November. It bought some land 12 months ago in an area where we think the land is going to go up in value because the government is building a new railway line there, planning zones, whatever, Cyberjaya, I don't know. We bought the land for 6. Currently the land is in PPE. The market value of the land is 8. On the 30th of November, but on the 15th of December, the value of the land is 7, because there's now some uncertainty regarding the regeneration. Talk to me about the land. Correct. It's not PPE, it's an investment property. So one of the things about this question is the question doesn't use the word investment property, but you have to use your knowledge and see that an empty plot of land bought in an area where we think the land is going to go up is going to be classified as an investment property. So the question is wrong in showing it as PPE. So one of the things I'm going to do is take it out of PPE and put it into investment property. If it goes into investment property, it has to be at fair value, because everybody always has it at fair value. So the first thing is, it's investment property. Secondly, what is the fair value? Is the fair value 8 or 7? Let me ask you a different question. Is the fall in the value an adjusting or non-adjusting event? We know that the value of the land after the year end is 7. Your year end is November. Your year end is 30 November. So we know that the value of the land on the 30th of November is 8, but afterwards it has fallen to 7 because the government have wobbled on a plan or something. I don't know. I mean, you have to work with the information. So is the fall in value from 8 to 7 adjusting or non-adjusting? Non-adjusting. So the value at the year end is 8. So I now have the necessary information to effectively say it shouldn't be PPE. So I need to rip it out of PPE. I take it out of PPE by 6. I should insert it into investment property. And I should put it in the investment property at 8. This means there is a gain. It's been an investment property, and this is a gain in P&L, in your retained earnings, and the gain is 2. The gain is 2. The fall in value is a non-adjusting post-balance sheet event. The fall in value is non-adjusting. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a past exam question, and it was worth 3 marks, and it was in the middle of a number crunching question, and you got 1 mark for taking it out of PPE, 1 mark for putting it into investment property, and another mark for recognising a profit. But equally, it could have been a question where there were no numbers involved, and it was just a discursive question. And, thank you for your patience. Grange, going.
During the exam? Can I just write like this?
In the exam, when this came up as an exam question, it was question number 1. So you had a note to the accounts, yeah? So what that meant was, yes, this is my working. So you laid out your balance sheet, you then go to your PPE figure and you minus 6. You then have left some space. I hope you leave space. I hope you leave space. Because you've now got to squeeze in a line, investment property, which wasn't there before, and drop the number of 8 in. And then in your retained earnings working 5, you drop 2 in. So this would be my working, my thinking process. Right, one more accounting standard. One more non-current asset. And that accounting standard is IAS 38.
Just one question for this thing. I mean, in the exam, can we simply state that it's 8 million carrying value in the IAS 40, or do we have to show the workings like we did?
I think in the exam, and this was past exam question, this came up in the exam as part of question number 1. And question number 1 is a number crunching group accounts question. So I have shown you more than is the necessary working. Because actually, in the exam, you would not need to write that down. I wrote that down for your benefit. That's the working. You then process that in working 5, this on the face of the balance sheet, that on the face of the balance sheet. You have a reference, and on the face of the balance sheet, you refer to this working. And you add 8 to investment property, you take 6 away from PPE. It's a journal entry. You know it's a journal entry. Yeah? I mean, you know, the trouble is, if I do journal entries the whole time, it scares people sometimes who are not familiar with journal entries. But I have to remove the asset, put it into investment property. So yeah, that's my work.